Okay, folks, for today, your homework is going to be slightly more traditional homework. You're not going to just copy notes. I am just going to take about 3 or 4 minutes to go through all the instructions on page 139 in your Learn book, and I'd like you to go through and complete this. We'll talk about it and expand on it when I see you next in class. So for number 1, it says, draw the figures in each box with the attributes listed. If your figure has more than one name, now this part's important because there's a very good chance your figure will have more than one name. Your figure might fit into multiple categories. If your figure has more than one name, write it in the box. Write it in the box. Okay? Now to start with, you're going to draw a rhombus with 2 right angles. Now to do this, I need to think. What are the properties of a rhombus? Well, looking at my notes, which I'm sure you all have, it has all the properties of a parallelogram, so 4 sides, 2 pairs of parallel sides, opposite sides are congruent, all that good stuff. But a rhombus also has sides that are all congruent. Okay, so I know that whatever I do, and a ruler can help with this, I'm going to use the sides of the ruler, and I'm just going to very lightly trace the side of the ruler right there. Now, it says 2 right angles. Okay, so if I put a right angle here, then that means, right, we're going to have a line going right across the top right there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that. That gives me a second right angle. But if I've got that line going across the top, remember, I just used the width of the ruler, so this would be real fast. So I basically have to use the width of the ruler again. So I'll put it with that line right there, trace right here. Go ahead and erase this extra stuff. There's my final shape. Now, that is a rhombus. It has all the properties of a rhombus. It's got 2 right angles. But you're probably noticing that it also has 2 right angles here. So yes, it has 2. And 2 more. So not only is this thing a quadrilateral, I'll let you cheat a little bit on quadrilateral because you're going to write that a lot. It's got 4 sides. It also has 2 pairs of parallel lines. That makes it a parallelogram, singular. Okay. It also has 4 right angles, so it's a rectangle. It has all those properties plus all the sides are congruent. That makes it a rhombus. And, as many of you were shouting at the video a moment ago, it's a square. So this gets to be pretty much everything. Now, that's not going to happen every single time. Kite, for example, is going to be a little different. Okay? What I would like you to do is fill this in. You're going to make a kite with all sides equal. You can lightly sketch. You can use a ruler. I would use some straight edge to finish, though, to make the lines nice and straight. Kite with all sides equal. Kite with 4 right angles, now that's interesting. And a kite with 2 pairs of adjacent sides equal. But the pairs are not equal to each other. That's going to be a weird one. Take your time with that. Experiment, play, very light pencils. Because what you're going to find is that a lot of times your shapes end up being something else. Okay? Now, this is back on page 135. When it talks about a kite, I have in the notes that as kind of a separate thing, but the book is saying, well, any quadrilateral that has pairs of consecutive sides could be a kite. So you might find the kites you're drawing transform into other quadrilaterals when you do that. Experiment. Sketch. See what you can do. Once you're done, use the figures to complete these tasks. First, you're going to use your protractor. You can print a paper protractor that's attached to this. If you have a plastic one, that's even better. You're going to record the angles that you measure. So whatever the angles are, and this one's done for you basically, go ahead and record those angles. Then you're going to use marker, crayon, colored pencil to circle pairs of angles that are equal in measure. See if you can find angles that are the same. Use one color for every measurement. So if you've got a 90, 90, 90, 90, use the same color for all those. Now, we will continue with this in class, so please don't let it frustrate you. I've already gone longer than I planned to, though, so I am going to stop here. Try, experiment, play, fail. If you draw something that doesn't work, that's okay. Let's talk about why it didn't work tomorrow. I'd like to have a little bit more of a discussion group tomorrow. All right, I'm going to stop here. If you have any other questions, bring them to class or email me. But for now, good luck, take your time, and I'll see you in class.